lying in her bed, covers over her head. Maybe she's thinking of me. I play her my song, it never gets too long. Maybe I kiss her again. You do, I'm sure. The stars start to shine, I'm sipping on my wine, wishing to miss her no more. Wind in the trees is like a ghost to me. She holds me close to my life. If you knew, you do, I'm sure. Say around the bend never has an end. I'm singing about her, my love. They say there is no time, tomorrow's hard to find. She is tomorrow for me. If you knew, you do, I'm sure. She's lying in her bed, covers over her head. Maybe she's thinking of me.
And hello to you, my friends. I'm going to switch to the live studio at the Brooklyn home of Bert and Josie, a house of love, and welcome to my Sunday evenings live stream. I do one of these every Sunday at 7 for the benefit of my friends who may live west of this date line, and on Saturdays at 4 for the benefit of friends who might live on the other side of the pond there. That was the beautiful singing of Campbell Bruce with Richard Tucker and myself from Richard, Cam, and Bert, the Cheese Band. Limited edition album, truly limited, but a lovely, lovely harmony song there. And I'm here with an hour or so of music. If you're here to listen, please make yourselves comfortable. I appreciate your presence. I do see I have 6 listeners, but I don't know who they are. If you feel like dropping into the chat, just say hello so I'll know who you are. That's nice. And I got a mix of original and other people's songs, and I'm just going to get started right away with a Bee Gees song from the very first Bee Gees album. In the event of something happening to me, there is something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep straining my ears to hear a sound. Maybe someone is digging underground. Or have they given up and all gone home to bed, thinking those that once existed must be dead? Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep straining my ears to hear a sound. Maybe someone is digging underground. Or have they given up and all gone home to bed, thinking those that once existed must be dead? Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking so loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. From the Bee Gees' first album, the New York mining disaster, based apparently on a true story. Something that happened in 1909. When I was an infant, I don't remember it happening at all. Ian and Sylvia's song for you next. I got a bunch of original songs, and I'll get to those shortly. But I like to warm up with some nice tunes. People call these covers, and then they generally burst into Hallelujah, which has been covered too much. I try to, when I do songs that are not mine, I try to do songs that you may have forgotten about, but you heard once and really did like, but then they don't get played enough afterward. This is for Ian and Sylvia's, I think, second album. Four months ago, last April, on the day coach she come down, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. Should've known I couldn't hold her, living out so far from town, and the nights to come are long, slow to go. Now my baby's left me, she's walking down the line, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. All dressed up in red velvet, with her high heel shoes so fine, and the nights to come are long, slow to go. Well, I should have known before we kissed, you can't keep red velvet on a poor dirt farm like this. I'll call my dog and take my truck and head on down to town, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. Well, I should have known before we kissed, you can't keep red velvet on a poor dirt farm like this. I'll just call my dog and take my truck and head on down to town, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. Or else I'll sit and count the evening stars as they walk around, and the nights to come are long, slow to go, slow to go. Ian and Sylvia. Let's see who I've got here. Oh, Josh Rubin and Misha Adams. Nice to see you. Welcome to the live streaming music of me. This is an original tune. Riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Hills and valleys, sleets and alleys, little towns all in a row, people I may never meet, in places I may never go. Sometimes I feel just like a gambler, watch my fortunes break, or just like some weary rambler, just wondering which fork to take. I got my backpack and my guitar, pocket change to pay my way. I bought myself a one-way fare, I'm going home, there I'll stay. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. A pleasant changes while I'm rolling, looking for the words to sing. I'll take my rhythm from the train tracks, and I'll wonder what the muse will bring. Fellow travelers in this night car, asking me what songs I play. They sometimes strike a harmony as we pass the rattling miles away. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Giving up the games I tried to play, coming home to you, and there I'll stay. Riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Riding on a northbound train. See who's joined me here. Harvey, Joshua, Chris Lowe. Hi, buddy. Well, welcome to the Peanut Gallery. Say hello to all your friends who are listening in. It's so nice to see you all here. I do enjoy doing this very, very much. Got a bunch of songs for you. Try to plan about 16, 17 songs. Just like that first tune you heard, there'll be another recorded tune to finish off the evening, but the rest will be live. And if there's a song that you know that I sing, and you think I might have it still in good shape, because I have a lot of songs and sometimes I forget how they go. just to make a request, and I'll see if I can fill it. If I can't fill it now, I'll certainly fill it a little bit later. This is a tune that I first heard Karen Dalton sing. I'm not entirely sure whether it is traditional or not. Sounds traditional. When I first came to town, they called me the roving Jew. Now they've changed their tune, they call me Katie Cruel. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and the mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. If I was where I would be, I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I would be, I cannot. When I first came to town, they bought me drinks aplenty. Now they've changed their tune, they bring me the bottle empty. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. If I was where I would be, I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I would be, you know I cannot. That's Katie Cruel. This is a tune by my dear friend Lenny Molotov. The man with a burning cocktail, lighting the way for justice and good blues guitar playing. That's Lenny Molotov. That's the man. But this is not a blues song. This is a kind of folky tune he wrote. On the one hand, this tune is about, relationships coming and going and growing up while it happens. And on the other hand, it's about one king leaving and a new one coming in. So I guess it goes both ways there. Took your notes, love letters, and birthday cards, built a little house till the wind blew hard. Oh gee, but it's tough losing your best friend. Guess my honey's never coming back again. Glorious sunshine, glorious rain, glorious joy, glorious pain. Glorious old King's Road, come to an end, glorious new coronation. When I fell asleep as a little boy, I woke up still dreaming of my toy. When I woke up from you and me, round my neck was a golden key. Glorious evening, glorious morn, glorious peacetime after the war. glorious old King's Road, come to an end, glorious new coronation. Well, I fell asleep in a room so small, and when I woke up, it was a mighty hall. Through the colored glass, I felt the sun's warm rays. You leaned over and kissed my face. Glorious sweetness, once so sour, glorious meekness, come into power. Glorious old King's Road, come to an end, glorious new coronation. Glorious old King's Road, come to an end, glorious new coronation. Glorious new coronation. And may it be so. And may it be so. Thank you all again for being here. Let me just check and see. Very, very nice. It is traditional. Now, Harvey Bojarski, you are my conscience and the person who has more patience than I do to look certain things up. I keep letting them remain mysteries for the longest time. I'm not that way about everything. So now I know it is a traditional American folk song, and I suspect has been somewhat modernized over the years, adapted by me to that strange style of guitar banjo picking that I was doing there. This is an homage to Bob Dylan. It's the title song of my album Salt for Silver. I'll give you salt for a silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Gonna build a big machine, a mechanical collage. Gonna build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. It's gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. Oh, and when it gets to rolling, it's gonna make an awesome sound, like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. When I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and ask them, man, well, what's it do for you? Gonna write a crazy song, not sure what it's gonna mean. Might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. It might point to something deep, or maybe just be what it seems. Oh, and when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna beg me, please explain that thing to me. And I'll turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing you can't see. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs. Gonna write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose. Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and words and prayers. There might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in that ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothes and go and walk the world of men. Gonna look in all their faces at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to following in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their back, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand to Jesus and then suffered a relapse and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies, they are things that I have made. I've borrowed them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told, and I will give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Salt for silver. Nice. Let me scroll down a bit here. Okay, well, now my next plan here is to stay in the key of C, but that was in C minor. So now I'm going to go to C major. Actually, this is the first time I've ever done this. I actually sat and reviewed my set list so that no two songs were in the same key in a row. It's a form of musical OCD, guilty as charged, my audience, guilty as charged. And there you go. So this tune is about my neighborhood. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese maybe for good. Water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified. The first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair. It's the same thing everywhere. The Indians who once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't leave them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. Money everywhere. Now the hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops you could afford to shop in now, they all are boarded. The building owners, they don't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. And who are you and I, the kid? It just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water everywhere. The music clubs have all shut down. New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. And the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains. You can tip them if you care, 'cause there's so much free music everywhere. Well, the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? And who are you and I, the kid? It just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water everywhere. In my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Yes, in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. And no matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end, and it's not their fault they had to settle there. People everywhere. people trying just to be everywhere like you and me. For until they find the sea, going where they're meant to be. People, people. Water, oh water. Water, water everywhere. A little jumble on the lyrics there. I haven't sung that song in a while. That's a song about our times and not holding grudges against people for things they can't help. Alrighty. Fellow songwriters, I have always given one piece of advice to you. There's a couple listening in right now, and I'm glad you're here. And my advice has always been, don't throw your old notebooks, and certainly not your old recordings, away, and don't think that some song that didn't work a while ago might not suddenly work for you now. This is one such tune. I wrote this song originally when I was playing with the Central Park Sheiks, the Eastern Kings of Western Swing. And the Sheiks, as you guessed from our name, tended to play swing music and country jazz at the most, but I would occasionally break it up by doing a more country-oriented song because I really enjoyed that kind of music, and sometimes a classical song or sometimes something outside the repertoire. The Sheiks were famous for doing whatever the hell they wanted to, and that's why they're not famous here in America, but we were a huge hit in Japan. Anyway, this is a tune I wrote when I was with the Sheiks, and just recently dug it up, and my wife heard me singing it and said, "I never heard you sing like that before." So I realized it needed revival. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world has went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a jukebox honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird, fly away from my shoulder. Blues, fly away from my heart. I've had this shadow upon me, darling, since we've been apart. Whoa, blues, fly away from my heart. A strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a jukebox honky-tonk waltz. Just a broke down honky-tonk waltz. Yes, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird and the Scarecrow, or honky-tonk waltz. There you go. Here's a tune. I had 3 tunes in a row that are all related to something important in my life. Those of you that know me know a couple of things about me. And please don't report me. One of the things is that I write a lot of different kinds of songs. Another thing is that recently I did a lot of different kinds of writing, starting about 3 years ago. I became a more dedicated novelist. I had tried to write some novels in the past. They were not very good. I am finished 2 novels in the last 3 years, and the third one is just about hatched, along with a collection of short stories, which will be hatched in a matter of days, I do believe. And I do believe I've become a much better prose writer. I was given subjects that mattered to me, so the first of those books was called Dead Man's Coat, and the second one was called Spindrift Factor. The third book in the series, almost done, is Searching for a Reasonable God. And all of these 3 books are family history. The first book, Dead Man's Coat, is about my grandfather, and this song, sometimes when I couldn't write prose, I would sit down and write a song to ooze the thought along, and ooze or ease the thought along, if you will. And this is about my grandfather at the age of 12, leaving Ireland in 1864. Left my shoes in Dublin, and I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left the rest behind me, and I stowed on to a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. They say I killed my father, but I only stole his name. He was murdered by a bottle, but I'll gladly share the blame. Murdered by a bottle, and maybe death has set him free. Now if I could only lose his ghost that stowed away in me. His ghost is in my mirror. His ghost is in my mind. It's living underneath my skin, and it won't be left behind. I tried my best to kill it, but the damn thing never dies. Oh, it stands so hard above me, with whiskey in its eyes. Here is my confession, for whatever it is worth. Haunted by my father, just like every man on earth. Haunted by my father, like every ordinary jay. He stands so hard above me, like a storm about to break. I'm sailing for America to find what might be found. I'll throw these memories overboard, and I'll pray that they stay drowned. I'll throw this baggage overboard to be swallowed up by the sea. Oh, now if I could only lose this ghost that stowed away in me. I left my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left the rest behind me, and I stowed onto a boat. I left the rest behind me to be swallowed up by time. And if they ever come to find me, may they pardon me my crime. The Dead Man's Coat. This is another song based on that book. There's 3 songs here that are based on that book. This particular song is about both of my grandfathers, from my mother's side and my father's side. And when I first started writing about these 2 men, I didn't know which one to write about. But in the case of this song, I simply took their 2 lives, and I added some bits from this one and some bits from that, and I mixed them together into the character of the song, the cowboy from Boston. And so it's the same way they mixed together, the DNA turned into me, their 2 lives mixed together to turn into this song. Well, he played an old fiddle made over in Europe, recited the poets and quoted the bards, rode out of the East on a sway Appaloosa. The cowboy from Boston with his sleeve full of cards, with a hey diddle ho riding high in the saddle, pearl-handled pistol and a master's degree, come 2,000 miles to the streets of Seattle to wet his fine whistle on some fresh Chinese tea. Kinda East Coast goes west to meet Far East, you see. A good man or bad depends on just who is talking. He bluffed like a champion or he lied like a snake. The ladies all swooned when he twirled his mustaches, and they snuck out the back door to bring him some cake. With a hey diddle ho riding over the prairie, fancy pants holsters, real silver spurs. The music he fiddled was so fine and airy, looking up in the sky he could name all the stars. He knew all his history and the generals and wars. Now he rode down the coast to the West Texas border, to the Mexican desert where the summer was fierce. He got all caught up in the good revolution. He fought at the side of an old man named Bierce. With a Viva Zapata he gave a loud holler, his gentleman's clothing all spattered with mud. He shot like a bandit, but he talked like a scholar, the cowboy from Boston, all hell-bent for blood. Just a cowboy from Boston won't come to no good. Not too far from Houston, he stopped a stray bullet. The last words he said lifted right off the page. It was something he'd learned from the poet of Avon, how all men are players and life is a stage. With a viva la vida, that was how fate had planned it. There's no one can say once that hand rolls the bones. He talked like a scholar, but he shot like a bandit. The cowboy from Boston come a long way from home. The cowboy from Boston laying under some stones. Just a cowboy from Boston come a long way from home. Okay, I'm getting an error message on my screen. I hope you're not getting a bad set of delays or something. Seems to happen on Sunday evenings. I guess a lot of people are live streaming. This is a thing that we all do. You have friends that do it. I have friends that do it. It's hard to attract an audience. Everyone's distracted by all the terrible things that are going on in the world. So when I do get people who are listening to me, I thank you so very much. You guys are you're a godsend. You give me something to do. It keeps me focused. Some of you may know I'm not in the best of health, and so this kind of thing makes me healthier. And I thank you all for being here. If you haven't been here and you haven't done so, this thing at the bottom of the screen is all true enough. If you're one of those people that just keeps dropping money into that hat, do me a favor, find another way to help me, find some other people to listen to me, let them drop the money in the hat. But if you haven't done it, and you can, what goes in the hat is much appreciated. That's Venmo or PayPal. And likewise, if you look up my songs on Bandcamp, Bert Lee, bandcamp.com, you'll find really nice recorded versions of many of my songs, and you can download those from Bandcamp. For those musicians or people that don't know why that is, that I use Bandcamp, a lot of the other services are bullshit. If you go to Spotify, every person that clicks gets you 0.0047 cents. So you need thousands of clicks in order to make even $1. And what they do is people buy robot clicks and pay a lot of money. And it's just bullshit. It's the 21st century version of payola. Bandcamp is very nice to we musicians. They give us most of the money we make when we have our songs downloaded by you. And so go there. You can listen to the songs for free, and if you want to sponsor the artist, you just download them for a few bucks, and we see those few bucks. On Fridays, we see all of it, because they're good that way. I got one more tune based on Dead Man's Coat. This tune was actually written long before I started writing the book, and I didn't really have a good motive for it. But writing the book created a character, a Mr. Crane, an old prospector. And the old prospector has gotten tired of stomping around on the desert, not finding any gold, and he figures that there must be a better way to bring in the gold. And so he gets involved with my grandfather, who was then 13 years old, in an ill-fated stagecoach robbery. And you can read all about that in Dead Man's Coat, which is a book I think you actually might enjoy. People tell me that it is a well-written book. You can get it at Amazon, Dead Man's Coat. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock. Field mouse hides from the eyes of a hawk. Cactus stands like a statue of a man. Him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge. Ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge. Twilight stealing in a corner of the sky. Riding along thinking by and boom. Give me sweet fresh water and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I want a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry. Buzzard circle in the hard blue sky. Dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf. Piano in a corner that plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail. Fetched up water in a leaky pail. Gotta get out of town before the daylight fails, and I don't want to stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones. Blackbird cries to rattle your bones. Cow skull laying by a watering hole. Don't drink there, you're gonna lose your soul in the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back. Wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track. Dry wind coming down from the hills, looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day is done. Give me sweet fresh water now, give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I want a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. The Moonlight Palomino, 3 songs from Dead Man's Coat. Hope you're enjoying what I'm doing here. Oh, your impatience, dear Misha, will soon be put to an end, finishing up the last story in the White Gallery and resolving the ending of the third of the triptych. And I'll be available to you soon. And thank you for being a fan and reading those books and telling people that they're good. And it's just a pleasure to have friends as nice as all of you are. That's just a great feeling. This is a spooky kind of song, I guess. I tend to write a little bit on the spooky side. It's part of my trademark. You're a bus driver bound from the lights of the city through the quiet of little towns lost in the night. Exits and off-ramps and neon-lit diners, and the bright eyes of rabbits like stars on the roadside. And the radio reminds us of all that's behind you. Your poor eyes are dazzled by the oncoming lights. The white line goes through you, and you don't know now, do you, why the good folks won't turn down their brights. Through the long night, the dark traffic sighs. What color are the bus driver's eyes? Puzzles and riddles and cats that play fiddles, and children that change in the rays of the moon. The little dog laughed just to see such a sight, and the dish ran away with the media tycoon. Are we almost there yet? And why is the rain wet? And who spilled the stars on the velvety deeps? Digressions and questions, liars' confessions, little Finnegan can't get to sleep. So many what-ifs and whys. Ah, what do you see when you shut down your eyes? There once was a maiden who escaped from her tower by cutting off all of her beautiful hair, and weaving a ladder she climbed from the bower and ran off and left not a note on a chair. There was an old farmer who traded his best cow for a hand-scribbled map and an old rusty key. The little dog wept just to hear such a tale. The tears that he offered would fill up the sea. Through the long night the dark traffic rolls, and the night driver ferries our souls. Are we almost there yet? And why is the rain wet? And who fills the cars in the velvety deeps? Look up out your window, watch the moon follow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. Now be a good fellow, go and waltz with the widow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. Alrighty, I've got a request coming up for my friend Misha. And Misha wanted to hear Daphne, and I will get to Daphne in just a moment. I've got exactly 3 more songs for you. Make it 4. I have time for that. And so this first tune is a Nilsson song, Harry Nilsson song. I happen to love the song. It's a 3/4 song. I've 2, 3, 4 songs in a row. My OCD is going to kick in on me now. Different kind of 3/4. She sang hymns out of tune, carried a yellow balloon. She traded her love for a Spanish doubloon and talked to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room. She pounded the table and brandished the broom. She turned 10,000 when she touched the moon and talked to the people who are. Now I have a clock on my wall. It keeps time, and that isn't all. It tells me how long she's been gone, away to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room. She pounded the table and brandished the broom, and she turned 10,000 when she touched the moon and spoke to the people who are. Rain came and scattered away the old antique caretaker's children that day. Now later that evening she passed away, away to the people who are. And as per her request, this is a very different kind of tune. I've been doing mostly my folk-oriented and country-oriented tunes, but this is a swing tune. And this goes to Drum Granny. Well, it's springtime on the Champs-Élysées, little breeze stirring in the trees, listening to the birds and bees and thinking about my Daphne. You can keep your Spanish ladies, your Frauleins and your Rose O'Grays, and I'm as happy as a man can be just to have my Daphne. She's an eyeful, my oh my. You know she makes me want to flap and fly. Can she, can, man, oh man. There is nothing sweeter than her kisses, just like sips of wine. When she says she's mine, all mine, you know she leaves me speechless as a mime. Crazy about my Daphne. She's the rave of old King Louis, lazy dress and parapluie. Shout out ooh la la and ooey. I'm crazy about my Daphne, with her kisses just like sips of wine. When she says she's mine, all mine, she leaves me speechless as a mime. and I'm crazy about her. I love Paris every moment of the year. I love Paris. Oh why do I love Paris? Because my love is near. And that was for you. Very, very nice tune called Daphne. Got one live tune to do. Then I'm going to play a recording while I roll the credits at the end of my show here. Once again, thanking you all so very much for being here. Learned this song from Richie Havens, one of the world's sweetest people. The song belongs to Jerry Merrick, and there was a time when you couldn't report to a stage on McDougal Street unless you knew how to sing this song. Give me a second while I kind of crisp up the... It'll do. Not quite in tune yet. Hold on. There we go. Let the river rock you like a cradle. Climb up to the treetops, child, if you're able. Let your hands tie a knot across the table. Come and touch all the things you cannot feel. And fold your fingertips and fly where I can't hold you. Let the sun rain fall, let the dewy clouds enfold you. Maybe you can sing to me the things that I just told you. If all the things you hear ain't what they seem, then don't mind me, I ain't nothing but a dream. The mockingbird sings each different song. Each song has wings and won't stay long. Do those who hear him think he's doing wrong? While the church bell tolls its one-note song, hear the school bells tinkling to the throng. Come and hear where ears cannot hear, and close your eyes, child, and listen while I tell you. Follow in your darkest night whatever dreams impel you. The song I'm singing may disturb or serve to quell you, if all the things you hear ain't what they seem. Oh, don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. The rising smell of fresh-cut grass, choking cities, fuming yell, and smoking gas. I hold some grapes up to the sun. Their flavor breaks upon my tongue. With eager tongues we taste our strife, and fill our lungs with seeds of life. Come and smell and taste the waters of our time, and close your lips, child, that softly I might kiss you. Let your flower perfume out and let the winds caress you. As I walk through the garden, I'm hoping I won't miss you. All the things you taste ain't what they seem. Don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. Now the sun and moon, they both are right. We'll see them soon in days of night, while silver leaves on mirrors bring delight, and the color of your eyes is fiery bright. See the darkness fill the sky with all its light. Come see where eyes cannot see, and close your eyes, child, and look at what I show you. Let your mind go reeling out and let the breezes blow you. And if we meet again, then suddenly I'll know you. If all the things you hear ain't what they seem. Don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. And you can follow, and you can follow, and you can follow. And thank you. That brings to an end the live part of my show. I have one more song for you, which I know you'll enjoy. I'm putting on my final credits here for the sake of newcomers who might want to know how they can support my cause. I'm putting that on right now. But for the rest of you who have supported my cause in the past, I'm providing some music to listen to while you study this sheet, or go get yourself some popcorn as you prepare for the next thing you're going to watch or listen to. And thank you so much for being here. Please support me if you can. If in no other way, like and subscribe my page, because every follower I get allows me more successfully to monetize this thing. And all of that said, this is a tune of mine from the 1960s. I used to play this with Richard Camembert, a song of whose I started out this set with. This is a lovely recording, mixed and mastered by my dear friend Dan Simpson, a tune called Evelyn. And for all of you, good night. Beside a water wheel, dawn was laying diamonds in the grass. My Evelyn looked gently down. Water was her looking glass. The snow had come and gone. Shoots of May were pushing through the ground. A bird did sing on every bough. Lord, it made the softest sound. Sun is rising, it's not surprising. I know the sun, he's my friend. I hardly know you. Where are you going to, and when will you be back again? Come and gone. Shoots of May were pushing through the ground. A bird did sing on every bough. Lord, it made the softest sound. Sun is rising, it's not surprising. I know the sun, he's my friend. I hardly know you. Where are you going to, and when will you be back again? I hardly know you. Where are you going to, and when will you be back again? Beside a water wheel,